Hey everyone, today we're cooking up a rich and luxurious meatball curry using South Indian spices and coconut cream. First off, we're going to make our meatballs. For this, we need 600 grams of minced beef or mutton. Next, what you see here is 3 tablespoons of puffed gram. Puffed gram is split chickpeas that has been roasted. We're going to add this to a grinder. Now, puffed gram is available at all your local Indian stores and it acts as a binding agent. If you can't find puffed gram, you can also substitute it with chickpea flour. Along with this, we're also going to add some freshly chopped ginger, garlic, and green chilies. So we have 4 large cloves of garlic, as well as a 2-inch piece of ginger, which has been minced, as well as 3 to 4 small green chilies that have been sliced. Next, we're going to add some South Indian spices. For this, we have half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, 1.5 teaspoons of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of mild chili powder, and a small stick of cinnamon. Make sure you don't use too much cinnamon here. Now we're going to grind all of these ingredients together, adding just 2 tablespoons of water to make a coarse paste. We're going to add this to the minced meat along with 2 medium-sized red onions that have been chopped, a sprig of fresh curry leaves, and 3 tablespoons of fresh coriander leaves that have been roughly chopped. And to this we're going to add 1 egg. And finally, we're going to season this with just a little bit of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon here. Now we're going to get in there with our hands and gently mix the meatball mixture. Make sure you don't overwork this mixture as it will result in dense meatballs. We just want to make sure that we have gently incorporated all the ingredients. Now we're ready to form these into lime-sized meatballs using our hands. And again, when you're making them, don't use too much pressure to pack them tightly into meatballs. Just apply a gentle pressure while rolling them. Place the meatballs on a tray lined with parchment paper. Place this in the freezer while you prepare the remaining ingredients for the curry. First up, we have a small lime-sized portion of tamarind pulp. Add this to a small bowl and cover with boiled water and leave to soften. Next, chop 1 red onion and 3 large cloves of garlic. Also dice 2 large tomatoes. These are the main fresh ingredients for the curry. By now, the meatballs have been in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes, and now we can fry them. Use a wide pan. Heat 1/4 to 1/2 cup of oil, and once the oil is hot, place the meatballs into the oil. As soon as you've added the first batch, gently shake the pan so that the meatballs don't stick to the bottom. Once the first side is slightly golden, we can flip them over, and don't flip them over too soon. At the same time, simultaneously in another pan, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil, and this is to make the curry. Keep an eye on the meatballs here. Once they are this color, you can start to flip them over. And flip them over gently so as not to break up the meatballs. And the oil in the other pan is hot by now. We can add a 1/4 teaspoon of black mustard seeds and a 1/2 teaspoon of fennel seeds. Add the mustard seeds first and wait for them to pop before you add the fennel seeds. Once they're fragrant, add 1 tablespoon of fresh curry leaves, followed by the chopped red onion. Sauté this briefly till softened. Once the onions are just softened, add the chopped garlic and continue to sauté on a low flame till it's nice and fragrant. Don't forget about the meatballs in the other pan. We can remove them once they're uniformly this color. And a point to note is that we don't fry the meatballs until they're too golden or too brown or fried through, because they will cook again in the curry sauce. And also remove those fried bits in the oil before adding the next batch of meatballs. Continue to fry the meatballs just as we did before. Meanwhile, the onions and garlic in the next pan has turned light golden. Make sure they don't go too dark. Now we can add some powdered spices. 1 teaspoon of mild chili powder, 1.5 tablespoons of coriander powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder. Give these spices a quick mix through just till they're fragrant, and then we can add in the chopped tomatoes. Once the tomatoes are added, raise the heat and stir continuously as the tomatoes are fried and then softened to a pulp. Once all the tomatoes are mashed up like this, add 4 cups of water. Stir well and bring to a simmer. By now, the tamarind that was soaking in the hot water is mixed and then strained to remove all the seeds, and we have the tamarind solution. So don't add it all, just add 2 ladles of this solution to the curry. If you add too much, your curry will be too sour. Also add salt to taste. About half a teaspoon should be enough. To add umami, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of asafoetida. Asafoetida is the dried gum resin obtained from the roots of ferula plants. It is commonly dried to a powder and extensively used in Indian cuisine. It is often used as an umami seasoning and is easily available at all your local Indian stores. So now as the curry simmers, add in those fried onion bits from frying the meatballs earlier, followed by all the partially fried meatballs. Lay the meatballs in gently and simmer this for 20 minutes on a low to medium flame to give those meatballs a chance to cook down to the center as well as absorb all those flavors. Give the pan a gentle shake every now and then, and the key to make this curry creamy and luxurious is Kara coconut cream. I have a 200 ml packet of Kara coconut cream at room temperature. First add about 100 to 150 mils. Add a little bit and just shake the pan till the cream is incorporated. Then you can add more later. It's best not to use your ladle to stir in the coconut cream as this tends to break up the delicate meatballs. Once the first addition of coconut cream has been incorporated into the curry, we can add more according to taste. And just swirl the pan until it too is well incorporated into the curry. Now the meatballs are nicely coated in the cream and we're ready for a final quick tempering. For this, 1 or 2 teaspoons of oil goes into a pan. Once it's hot, add 3 teaspoons of finely chopped garlic and fry till golden brown. A key to keeping the garlic from burning when you fry them is to rinse and strain the minced garlic before adding to the hot oil. So we've added the golden fried garlic along with the oil. Return that curry that was resting back to a simmer and add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper powder along with fresh coriander leaves here. Very gently incorporate these ingredients. Add a little bit of boiled hot water if you need to loosen the consistency. Don't add too much and dilute your curry. And at the very end, you can add the remaining bit of coconut cream, or you can do this while you serve it. Your delicious South Indian meatball curry is ready to be served. This is great with any type of fragrant rice or soft flatbreads. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe video. I am sharing the recipe card for you all here. For the detailed written recipe, you can visit the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.